They weren't supposed to show this. And yet, images leaked. Blood, dirt, a cross stained with red. And now, fans are breaking down. Because what we've just seen from The Chosen Season 6 behind the scenes has left us shaken. Jonathan Roumie's portrayal of Jesus during the crucifixion has reached a whole new level of intensity. This isn't just emotional acting. It's raw pain. And with every new leaked photo, it's becoming more and more clear this season won't just tell the story of the crucifixion, it will make us feel it. If you thought Season 5 was heartbreaking, Season 6 will leave you stunned. The truth is, we weren't supposed to see these images. But somehow they surfaced. Set photos, behind-the-scenes videos, even actor posts, each one more emotional than the last. The most shocking ones? Jonathan Roumie standing beside the towering wooden cross, blood already painted across his body, the crown of thorns pressed into his head, and the purple robe draped over his back. It's almost too much to process. You can clearly see the pain on his face, even though he's smiling. In one of the images, there's something haunting about it. As if he knows what's coming. As if he's carrying the emotional weight of what's about to happen. It's also been confirmed that the production team is filming in Italy, on the same hill where the Passion of the Christ was shot. That alone tells you what kind of visual and emotional experience they're aiming for. This isn't just a scene, they're making history. In one blurry leaked video, we can see Roman soldiers surrounding a man lying on the ground, his arms outstretched. Blood being added by the makeup crew, the hammer being passed around. Dallas didn't plan to release this early, but now that the leaks are out, we're getting a glimpse of just how graphic and emotional these crucifixion scenes will be. The presence of blood is overwhelming, not symbolic. Real, thick smears. On wood, soaked through clothing, painted on backs. They've taken every historical detail seriously. It's clear they aren't shying away from showing the brutality of what Jesus endured. In fact, in one of the shots, you can actually see blood splattered on the stone underneath the cross. Another image shows Jonathan's body double completely covered in blood and dirt. Fans started speculating, is this before or after the nailing? It's hard to tell. But either way, the effect is the same. It's disturbing, it's heartbreaking, and it's unforgettable. Even the cast members, who've spent years working on this show, are saying they've never filmed anything this emotional before. One extra reportedly fainted during filming. That's the level of intensity we're talking about. There's also a growing curiosity about how the cast is handling these scenes. We already know from Dallas's previous updates that filming has taken a toll on everyone. Between takes, he's been seen hugging actors, wiping away tears, and offering quiet prayers with them. Amanda, his wife, has been visiting the set often. Many believe she's there to offer him emotional support. Because directing something this spiritually powerful isn't just a professional challenge, it's deeply personal. Dallas has often said this show is his life's work, but now it's becoming something more. A burden, a mission. And now it's all leading to this, the death of Jesus. As fans, we've been preparing for this moment since Season 1, but are we truly ready to see it unfold like this? What makes these leaks even more compelling is what we don't see. Certain characters, like Jesus himself, are often kept out of focus in the footage, likely to preserve the emotional impact of the final scenes. But we see the reactions. We see Mary Magdalene with her hands over her mouth, sobbing. We see John looking like he's about to collapse. And in one surprising twist, a character who hasn't been present for a while appears again, Claudia, Pilate's wife. She seems to be in the crowd, standing near Joanna and the others. What does her presence mean? Did she regret her husband's role in the crucifixion? Is she there to witness the execution? That's what makes this show so powerful. They don't just stick to the known accounts. They explore the human side, the emotional aftermath, the tension in the faces of bystanders. You don't just watch Jesus die. You feel it ripple through everyone. And then there's the lawsuit drama in the background. While the crew bleeds their hearts into filming these painful scenes, Angel Studios continues to fight them in court. You'd think the previous rulings would have ended things. The Chosen already won the arbitration. But no, Angel Studios is still pushing, still appealing, still trying to reclaim a show they no longer own. And fans are caught in the middle. Many still associate the two brands, not realizing the legal separation. And Dallas, although he can't say much publicly, has made it clear. The Chosen is moving on. They're filming without limits now, telling the story the way it was always meant to be told, with full creative control. And now, as we watch this new season come to life in blood, sweat, and silence, we're reminded that this isn't just a production. It's a passion. What's happening behind the camera is just as intense as what we're seeing in these leaks. The emotional collapse of the cast and crew is real, and you can feel it in every expression, every whispered prayer, and every tear that's shed between takes. The Crucifixion isn't just another dramatic scene, it's the heart of the story. And everyone involved seems to be carrying that weight like it's their own. Jonathan Roumie, who spent years stepping into the role of Jesus, now finds himself at the breaking point. He hasn't spoken publicly about the Crucifixion, filming in detail because of the NDA, but you don't need words to see what it's doing to him. His Instagram post from the set, where he stands beside the blood-soaked cross, said it all. He looked exhausted, emotionally raw, and deeply moved. He spoke briefly about how heavy the experience has been and thanked fans for their prayers. He didn't need to say more, because his face said everything. The burden of portraying Jesus' final hours isn't just a job. It's a spiritual confrontation. And he's living it every single day on set. Other actors have echoed that sentiment. Some even posted private reflections later deleted saying they couldn't sleep after filming the Crucifixion. The cries of the characters felt too real. The fake blood, the screaming, the hammer hitting wood again and again, it blurred the line between performance and pain. Dallas Jenkins, who's directing every moment of this, has been described as looking both focused and haunted. One crew member said he barely speaks between takes now. He just walks the set with tears in his eyes. He's watching his vision come to life, but it's a vision soaked in agony. That's the paradox of Season 6. It's the most anticipated season, and yet it's the most painful to witness. Every day of filming is like opening an old wound. And even though it's a dramatization, it doesn't feel fake to them. It feels like they're living through it all over again. There's one moment from the behind-the-scenes footage that fans can't stop talking about. It's when Dallas approaches the cast after they finish shooting a crucifixion scene. The set is quiet. The wind is blowing. The blood on the cross is still wet, and he just walks to each actor and holds them. No words, just embraces. As if he's saying, I know it hurts. And that's the kind of leadership that defines The Chosen. Not just technical brilliance or storytelling, but deep, personal connection. You can see how much this story matters to everyone involved. It's not just a job, it's a mission. And as the cameras roll, the pain becomes a shared experience. From Jonathan to the extras, from the makeup team to the assistants carrying water bottles, everyone is emotionally drained. And then there's the silence. In several clips, after a crucifixion take ends, the entire crew goes silent. No clapping, no talking, just silence. That tells you everything. They're not just watching Jesus be crucified. They're feeling it. They're grieving it. Some step away from the set to cry. Others sit quietly in corners, wiping their faces. And Dallas, in the middle of all this, just keeps filming, because he knows these moments are sacred. The camera doesn't just capture acting. It captures something spiritual, something eternal. And that's why Season 6 is already unlike anything The Chosen has done before. It's not just recreating the Gospels. It's letting the audience walk into the middle of them, blood and all. There are whispers about how they'll handle the final Crucifixion episode, the one slated for a theatrical release in 2027. Dallas has already said it will be a full-length movie, and that it's the most ambitious project he's ever done. But what's starting to become clear is that the emotional tone of the whole season is building toward that moment. Everything, every tear, every scream, every leak is preparing us. And fans are already saying they're not ready. Because if the behind the scenes is this painful to watch, what will the final product feel like? How do you prepare your heart for something this real? And that's what makes the leaks so powerful. They don't spoil the story, we already know how it ends, but they do show us the cost. The emotional, spiritual, human cost of bringing this story to life. These aren't just actors. They're believers, friends, artists pouring everything they have into a story that broke the world and healed it at the same time. That's why these images are so hard to look at, and so impossible to look away from. Because in the end, the Chosen isn't just retelling the story of Jesus. It's making us feel what it must have been like to stand at the foot of the cross. And the truth is, none of us are ready. As all of this unfolds on set, blood on the cross, tears behind the camera, and a story being told with more power than ever before. There's another storm quietly brewing behind the scenes, and it's threatening to shake the foundation of The Chosen. Angel Studios, once the platform that helped The Chosen rise, is now locked in a bitter legal battle with the very show it helped launch. And while the actors bleed on screen and fans brace themselves for a season unlike any other, lawyers are preparing for another round of arbitration. Dallas Jenkins has remained calm and focused in public, but even he can't hide the frustration anymore. In a recent livestream, he admitted he didn't want to say much, but you could hear it in his voice. This isn't just a business dispute, it's personal. Because while the world waits to witness the most painful part of the gospel brought to life, there's a corporate war happening in the background. And some fans don't even realize it. It all started when Angel Studios was found in breach of contract. The result? The Chosen was pulled off their platform, and a legal wall went up. Dallas and his team gained full creative and distribution control, which is how they were able to launch Season 5 on Prime Video. But Angel didn't walk away quietly. They appealed. Again and again. And even though multiple judges have ruled in favor of The Chosen, Angel Studios refuses to let go. Why? Because this show is a goldmine. A rare mix of faith, fandom, and finance. Millions of viewers. Global reach. And a brand so powerful that people cry just watching 2-minute clips. That's why Angel Studios won't stop fighting. Not for the message, but for the money. It's heartbreaking to say, but that's the truth hiding beneath the drama. And now, as the show prepares to unveil its most devastating season, this conflict is back in the spotlight. But the fans? They see right through it. Many have taken to social media, voicing their support for Dallas and his team. They've called out Angel Studios for dragging out the process, accusing them of greed, manipulation, and trying to hold on to something that no longer belongs to them. The Chosen's audience isn't just passionate, they're loyal. They've followed this journey from a small idea to a worldwide phenomenon. They've supported the crowdfunding campaigns, shared the episodes with friends, and waited patiently through production delays. And now, with Season 6 hanging in the balance, they're making one thing clear. They stand with The Chosen. Not the studios, not the lawsuits, but the story, the people, the message. And maybe that's why the leaks feel even more powerful now. They're not just spoilers, they're proof that the show is still alive, still moving forward, still holding nothing back. Every drop of fake blood, every anguished cry, every shadowy image of the cross, it's all a reminder that this story can't be stopped, not by legal battles, not by app removals, not by arbitration, because The Chosen has never just been a show. It's a movement, and Season 6 is its crucible. The moment where pain and purpose collide, where betrayal, brutality, and faith reach their breaking point. And it's coming, no matter who tries to slow it down. There's even talk now that the lawsuits are becoming a distraction, that some involved behind the scenes wish they could just forget about the legal side and focus entirely on what's happening on set. But they can't, because every press release, every headline, every appeal reminds them that they're fighting two battles, one on screen, one off, and both are exhausting. But if you look closely, there's also strength in that struggle. Dallas has been more open than ever about the toll this has taken, about how hard it is to lead through chaos. And yet, he's still showing up, still directing, still standing on set, watching his actors bleed and cry and rise again. Because the story matters more than the noise around it. And that, in itself, is its own kind of miracle. So when we watch Season 6, when we finally sit down and see Jesus carried to the cross, blood covering his back, his mother weeping beside him, the crowd shouting, the sky turning dark, we won't just be watching fiction. We'll be witnessing sacrifice. Not just Christ's, but the casts, the crews, and everyone who poured their heart into making this season real. That's what makes these leaks so unsettling. They show us not just what's coming, but what it costs. And in a world where even faith stories are caught in legal chaos, The Chosen is still pressing forward. Bleeding, crying, believing, because the cross wasn't the end of the story. It was the beginning. As the days of filming continue under the burning Italian sun, it's becoming clearer that the cross being carried on that set is more than just a wooden prop. It represents a burden, emotional, spiritual, and physical, that every person involved in The Chosen Season 6 is now carrying. When Jonathan Roumie steps into position beside that cross, smeared with fake blood and covered in cuts drawn on by makeup, it's not just acting. It's something deeper, something sacred. Every movement, every gasp, every glance toward heaven, it's like he's channeling centuries of pain. And what's astonishing is how that energy ripples through the entire set. No one is immune. From the lighting crew to the wardrobe assistants, everyone seems caught in this intense emotional gravity. Even the air feels heavier, as if time itself has slowed down to witness the weight of what's happening. And yet, the more leaks that surface, the more we realize how far this production is willing to go. There's one behind-the-scenes image making the rounds right now. Jonathan standing beside the cross he's about to be nailed to. His eyes are closed, his arms slightly open, as if bracing himself not for the performance, but for the suffering itself. And what makes it all the more powerful is what you see in the background. Members of the cast watching silently, some holding tissues, others turning away. That's not scripted. That's real. No one is laughing or chatting or checking their phones. They're witnessing a reenactment so raw, it's like stepping straight into the Gospels. Some fans who've seen these photos said they felt their stomach turn, not because of gore, but because the pain feels too real. And that's what makes The Chosen different. They don't dramatize for effect. They live the pain so we can feel the truth. And it's not just Jonathan's portrayal that's crushing hearts. It's the entire cast. Mary Magdalene's face contorted in grief. Tamar reaching out as if she could stop the inevitable. John frozen in helpless agony. Each reaction feels deeply personal. It's not acting. It's mourning, real mourning, for a death we already know is coming, for a love that's about to be torn apart. And when you realize that the cast has been living with these characters for years, the weight becomes even heavier. They've walked with Jesus since the first miracle. They've watched him teach, heal, love, and now they must watch him suffer. Imagine carrying that for weeks, day after day, scene after scene, reliving the worst moment of the greatest story ever told. That's not just hard, that's unbearable. And yet they do it. Because they know what it means. In one particular leak, you see the feet of Jesus dirty, bruised and bloodied, being positioned on the crossbeam. There's something about that image that feels especially brutal, because we know what comes next. The hammer, the nails, the shock of flesh meeting iron. But the fact that they even captured this moment with such realism says everything about what Dallas and his team are trying to do. They aren't just giving us another depiction of the crucifixion. They're showing the cost of it. Not just the physical agony, but the betrayal, the abandonment, the brokenness of every heart watching it unfold. There's no music, no soft filter, just a man nailed to wood, while the world either watches in silence or turns away. What's also striking is how the spiritual weight of this season is affecting even the viewers of these leaks. People are writing online that they had to stop scrolling, that the photos made them cry, that they haven't even seen the final cut, and yet they're already praying. That's the kind of impact The Chosen is having. Even before its release, Season 6 is stirring souls. Not because of controversy or celebrity, but because the pain is real. The sacrifice is real. And people are being reminded of what the crucifixion really meant. It wasn't clean. It wasn't symbolic. It was bloody, messy, shattering. And that's exactly what Dallas is giving us. A look at the truth that most people turn away from. And in the middle of all this, we have to remember, this is only the beginning. These scenes we're seeing, leaked online, they're fragments, pieces of something much bigger. Because once the full crucifixion episode is released in theaters in 2027, we'll be hit with the full weight of what they've built, what they've endured, what they've shared with the world. And it won't be easy to watch, but maybe it's not supposed to be. Maybe we need to be shaken. Maybe we need to sit in that darkness before we can fully understand the light. And if this season continues down the path it's walking right now, we're not just in for another chapter of The Chosen. We're in for a transformation. One we'll never forget. When Season 6 finally premieres, it won't feel like just another installment in a beloved series. It will feel like a reckoning. Everything The Chosen has built since Season 1 is now culminating in the most brutal, most sacred chapter of the story. And it's not just the story of Jesus, it's the story of the people who loved him, the ones who betrayed him, and the ones who weren't strong enough to stop it. The leaks we've seen are just snapshots, moments frozen in time, but they already feel burned into our memory. The blood on the wood, the Roman soldier raising the hammer, the grief on Mary's face, the distant look in John's eyes as the man he followed is ripped away from him. These aren't just scenes. They're emotional scars. And when we watch them unfold in their full, unedited form, we'll walk away with scars of our own. But maybe that's the point. Maybe we're supposed to. Because the crucifixion isn't just a historical event. It's the most painful love story ever told. And The Chosen is not holding back. Dallas Jenkins has made it clear. This isn't a season for comfort. It's a season for truth. A season for tears. A season for raw, unbearable honesty. And even now, before the episodes have aired, we can feel it approaching like a storm. Every update from the set is soaked in emotion. Every behind-the-scenes moment is layered with exhaustion and reverence. The cast has spoken about sleepless nights. Crew members have gone silent online. Even fans are saying they're nervous to watch what comes next, because we all know what's coming. And we all know it's going to hurt, but through the pain, there's something else taking shape, something extraordinary. A deeper connection to the story we thought we already knew. The Gospels aren't changing, but The Chosen is letting us experience them in a way we never have before. Not from a distance, but up close, inside the tears, inside the betrayal, inside the blood. And that's what sets this show apart. It doesn't just show us what happened. It brings us to our knees and makes us feel it. That's why the crucifixion will be more than just a finale. It will be an emotional confrontation. It will demand something from us. Faith, reflection, maybe even forgiveness. And when it's over, we won't be the same. And still, there's more to come. After all, the suffering, after the tomb is sealed, there will be hope. A resurrection. But right now, the focus is on the breaking. On the moment everything fell apart. And as much as we dread watching it, we also know it's necessary. Because before the light comes, the darkness must have its hour. That's the path the chosen has committed to walking. Not just telling the story, but living it. With every ounce of pain. With every drop of blood. With every soul-breaking moment. And they're taking us with them. Whether we're ready or not. So, prepare your heart. Because these leaked images, these behind-the-scenes glimpses, they are nothing compared to what's coming. The cross is being lifted, the nails are in place, and the most emotional season of The Chosen is about to begin. You won't just watch it, you'll feel it. And long after the credits roll, the echoes of what you've seen will still linger like whispers in your chest. This season won't just change the show. It will change you.